Hey YouTube, we're back for Kingdom Death Monster. We're doing a hunt reenactment. We just rolled a 7 after picking 2 unnamed survivors as our favorite and least favorite survivors. Is the monster a nemesis monster? Well, the only monster we've killed is the White Lion. It is not a nemesis monster, so no. The monster falls, silencing the crowd with a sickening crack. The survivor nominated to be the monster dies. The survivor nominated to be the hunter sets their insanity to 0. So nothing happens. I think I said my least favorite was this one. She's dead. She didn't even have a name. And this survivor, his insanity goes to 1 or 0. It was already 0. So that's that. We just had a death. When do we check milestones? We check milestones later, but we did just have our first death along with the 2 who died here. So we'll get our graves pretty shortly here. But now we have to go to the timeline. And we have to do Endless Screams and Gorm Climate. Yep. I wish I could do something with the 1080p, but I cannot. So let's do Endless Screams. So Endless Screams. Scream pierces the night. Silence. Pierces the silence around the settlement. As the noise fades, a chorus of horror rises up to answer. The settlement erupts into chaos. You may now hunt the Screaming Antelope. Add it to the quarry list. One survivor gets +1 courage, and they become the voice of reason. No, they didn't have to be from the returning ones. This game really needed an automated digital version. Considering it's made by one person, I can't imagine. A, how bad it would be, or B, why did that confuse me? A, how bad it would be, and B, how bad it would be when it comes out in 2073. So let's have a random survivor. What's the issue? What happens here? Shattered jaw? Shattered jaw, and they lose the courage that they got. Otherwise, good stuff. So we'll just have we'll have Red here. We'll have Jonathan become the voice of reason, and we'll even give him the title. Voice of Reason. Gets a courage, and we roll a 1d10. Let's come back and see what that d10 says later, shall we? Courage. It's a 10. It wants to be a 4. It was shaking there for a bit, but it's a 10. So Jonathan, the voice of reason, the survivor, stands firm in the face of the screaming unknown. Slow and strong words change the settlement's fear into tingling excitement. After all, the endless screams might be an opportunity to gain knowledge and harness the darkness. The survivor gains the Orator of Death, and all returning survivors get +2 insanity. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. And Jonathan is the Orator of Death. It's a fighting art, I think. Yeah. So Orator of Death, once per showdown, you can spend an action to have all non-death survivors gain +2 insanity. When you die, you encourage all survivors with your last words. They did manage to get Gloomhaven Digital. Did Gloomhaven Digital get better? I know it was awful at the beginning, or at least the reviews were, but did it finally get better? Excitingly, I'm finally going to, I've not really played Gloomhaven. I played a few of the intro missions of Jaws of the Lion. My wife and I are going to start playing it this weekend, and I hope she likes it, or else I'm playing it by myself. Yeah, obviously not done by the same people who made the board game. Because Gloomhaven's kind of done by one guy too, isn't it? It's done by Isaac Childress. Okay, so Orator of Death is done. So now we've got to do Gorm Climate, eh? Gorm Climate. Because Elto Guy convinced me to put the Gorm in. The returning survivors find the settlement tormented by relentless foul weather. Add Gorm Climate to the next lantern year. So do we ever fix the climate? Or is the Gorm Climate just always here? Roll a 1d10. What do we get? It's a 1. That can't be good. First version was dissed for not being faithful. Oh, it wasn't even faithful to the board game? Now it's much closer? Okay. I'll have to give it a try at some point. Is it the actual scenarios from the game, or is it like its own storyline? So a 1, jagged pellets of sizzling hail rain from the sky, corroding anything they touch when they land. All resources in the settlement storage are lost. You can avoid this by dismantling an innovation to create a protective barrier. Our only innovation is language. We desperately need these. You fix the climate by killing a Gorm with a specific innovation on? Okay. Okay. Oh. I mean, it's not like we use encourage a lot. And we can get language back. Our deck is only 7. Whereas if this would be akin to us having died on that lion. And that's what killed our previous settlement. So we have to. We have to dismantle language here. Shadowcat, thanks for that Prime sub. Are they in storage yet? Oh, good question. I had put them in here, but I think things don't go to storage until a little bit later, right? Settlement phase. Survivors return. Or is storage... Storage is when you write them down at the end of it, isn't it? Resources in storage can be spent. Record unspent resources in the settlement storage. Right. Right. Don't you remove every non-language innovation? That I don't know, because it didn't explain that. It just said get rid of the, whatchamacallit. It didn't say get rid of the deck. Yeah, so the end of the phase is when you record them in the storage. So these aren't in the storage, so we need to actually see what we brought back this time versus what we already had, which means that I'm going to need to quickly load up some raw video here. Let's go to the tapes. To the tapes. This is magic. Today is decidedly not a magic day. To the tapes. Okay, it looks like we had white fur. Future me, go over to the right-hand side of the board. I could look at that pile and watch me do it, but I'm impatient and I just want to see everything. Okay, so it looks like we had white fur. Surely there's got to be like a frame skip in. Oh, we had the eye and the sinew. Okay, we have extra sinew. No. Oh. Brrr. Did I have the same shirt on? Nice. Allie, thanks for that host. So we would lose the eye, the sinew, and a white fur. The sinew is kind of what I desperately want to get the bow. So if we lose those, we're making a spear. We're making a second rawhide set still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can make a baby. Yeah, it's probably worth it, but we really need to find sinew, which means I don't know if we go after the Gorm this year or not. All right, let's get let's get language back. It was on the bottom of the deck. So let's get that back. Let's lose the fur, the eye, and the sinew. This card sucks. Why did I add the Gorm? Why did I add the Gorm to the game? Okay, so Gorm's done. Now we need to check milestones. So we had our first 3 deaths. So let's do that. Principle of death. We'll go for the first grave as usual. The settlement decides to build a small monument to mark their loss. The settlement gains the death principle graves. Find and place it. Roll a d10. A 7. Nominate a survivor with tears in their eyes. The survivor takes a shard of rock from the grave and marks themselves with it. They cherish this mark forever. The survivor gains +1 permanent luck. I believe we'll give that to whoever our fist and tooth person is going to be. And this gives all new survivors an understanding. So you're fist and tooth, right? You've got the strength boost. Yeah, so we'll make Randall the fist and tooth guy and give him the luck. Who all died? Mobile Jamfran and Cassandra did last week. So that was death. We don't have 5 innovations. We don't have 15 population. We've not yet had a birth, but we're really going to go for it now. So up first, I would like to innovate. Oh, we can't even innovate because we don't have bones. Because we need these 2 bones to make a spear. We need Lion Claw and Great Cat Bone. Because we've got to get weapons going pretty badly. We've got bone darts. Yeah, I think we've got another year without innovating here. So let's go Great Cat Bones and Lion Claw to make a spear. So the spear, like I said last time, is pretty good because it's got reach of 2, which means that you can attack on the diagonals. It is 2-handed, which of course means you can only... Wait, what does 2-handed mean? It means you can't pair them, right? Made of bone, although it's not frail, which is great. Melee, heavy, yada yada. And let's make Jonathan the spearman. The innovation this year is a long pointy stick. Yeah, basically. And then we've got 1 hide, 2 hide, 3 hide, and this hide can be discarded for 2 hides. So we've got 5 hides, and that happens to be exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of rawhide. So we'll give Jonathan a set of rawhide here. Gets a headband, gets a vest, gets some gloves, gets some boots, gets some pants. And that leaves us with love juice and some testes. So we'll do love juice, see if we can get survival of the fittest going here. So we get to discard this to just do intimacy. No rolling to figure out if it happens. None of that. We just, boom, make some babies. And we'll go with unnamed female at the bottom and unnamed male at the bottom as the 2 people doing it. Doing it. So we only roll 1 because we don't yet have survival of the fittest. Did you miss the start of the new settlement? You might have if you didn't catch up on the last video. This is a settlement that we started about halfway through last week. So let's see if we get a baby. We do. The settlement gains population. The male and female survivors share a deep bond and gain +10 survival. Our survival limit's 2, so they gain 2 survival. Enjoy your 2 survival, unnamed lady, and enjoy your 2 survival, unnamed dude. We get a new survivor. We had a female die, so let's replace her. And all new survivors get an understanding, so she'll have an understanding attached. And look at that. We have our first birth. We get to do Principle of New Life, and we will raise our children without mercy. Survival of the fittest. We'll roll our 1d10 to see what happens while we go and grab survival of the fittest. Here it is. Puts our survival limit up by 1. And then we'll go through and we'll give everybody their +1 strength and +1 evasion in just a sec. We roll a 3. So the settlement celebrates with a rowdy party filled with tests of strength and triumphant roaring. The parents each gain +1 permanent strength and +2 insanity. They must skip the next hunt to recover because they partied too hardied. So what was that? Strength and insanity to the parents. Okay, so those parents might become, nope, not speed, pretty decent fighters. So we're going to need names for them, but they can't go on the hunt this time. But we'll get to them next time. 2 insanity, a strength. And now, because of survival of the fittest, everybody gets +1 strength and +1 evasion. Except for Cassandra, she's dead. as is Mobile Jamfran. Those parents are going to be pretty good. They now have a +2 strength each, eh? There we go. Curious why I prefer Survival of the Fittest. +1 strength and evasion is just nuts. Like, absolutely insane. 0.26 deaths versus 0.73 births with a reroll on the intimacy table if you have Survival of the Fittest. You did the maths. Move the dead one to the bottom of the list. Yeah, I guess I should keep on top of that, eh? The reason I didn't in the last settlement is there were so many dead people that I just didn't want to bother. Because it's not an easy click, right? I have to make sure I'm clicking her every single time here. But I guess once they're sorted, they'll stay sorted, right? So now she's at the bottom, and we can move this one down. And then we can move Mobile Jamfran down. It would be nice if there was an auto move to bottom button. All right, there we go. Dead people all at the bottom. So yeah, let me copy this because I always forget that I have to roll 2 dice. So I like to have a copy of it down there to remind me, along with a second die. We've got 2 endeavors. I guess we could turn the testes into some grease. Grease is always good to have, so let's turn those into some grease. Because somebody over here didn't have grease. Yeah, let's give the spearman... Well, the spearman doesn't need grease as much. Since he's always going to be 2-ish away. Maybe we give grease to the bone darts person? Although he's going to be close, so maybe he still gets attacked? I know the common thing to do in a lot of games is to, like, spread out your stats. I feel like that's a bad thing to do in Kingdom Death Monster. You want to have some people who are going to actually survive and some people who are meat for the meat grinder. So yeah, I'll give it to Jonathan here. Yeah, never read the ingredients on your monster grease. You just don't want to know. So that means that we're going to spend a couple of turns doing augury here with our endeavors because we don't have much else to do. So let's do augury. We should have said who's doing this. Let's say that Randall's doing it. We rolled a 6, so Randall gets a survival. Did I up my survival limit? I did. And then let's have Randall do it again. And I deleted that die by accident. Four. Another survival. Boop. Okay. So I guess we're going to head out on another hunt here, because all we have left is our broken lantern, which is garbage until a long time from now. And we have to decide if we're going to go hunt a Gorm, or if we're going to hunt another lion. We got one more hunt after that until the butcher shows up. And I really want to get a bow. I guess the bone darts is kind of okay. Cannon fodder, meat for the meat grinder. Same thing, same thing. The Gorm drop anything good? The Gorm is good for getting a shield apparently really early. Plus it's a fight I've never done, so it would be very interesting. Because I would have no idea where to go. So maybe that's interesting. We can do the Gorm. And then we can do a lion before the butcher. And then do the butcher. Yeah, I guess let's go for a Gorm. Let's go for a Gorm. Okay, so we're going to need 2 new survivors. Shoot your names in chat. I don't think we have anybody picked to be those new survivors. Everybody who's available, I believe, just has +1/+1 strength evasion. because he's missing the next hunt and the other parent's missing the next hunt. Go to Fredo's ready to die? All right. Mr. Go to Fredo. You get a survival for being named. Congratulations. Let's have Godofredo be this fella. Is this a new run? Yeah, we started it halfway through last week. Shield won't help against the lion, but the bow will help against the Gorm. Oh, really? Okay. That's good to know. Yeah, because I know nothing about the Gorm. Kvotha? Is Kvotha a female or a male name? Your choice. What is Kavoth? From the King Killer Chronicle. Just notice this is part 5. Yeah, this is part 5. This is part 5. All right. So let's go with Kvoth. We're going to have an all-male hunting party this time. Survival for being named. Spawn. Boop. Oh, Spearman. Spearman should be the red person. There we go. So we've got our party set up. So yeah, I guess maybe it does make more sense to go for another lion, try to get that sinew. It's a pain that the sinew's moderately hard to get. So yeah, let's go for a lion. I know the lion. And then maybe we'll go for a Gorm after that. So we are going to depart for the hunt. So let's get our stuff going. +1 survival, that's your max. No survival for you, no survival for you. You get +1, +2. You get +2 survival. Let's distribute some evasion tokens here. You get 2 evasion for monster grease and for the rawhide vest completion. You've got yourself some monster grease. You've got yourself some monster grease and the rawhide bonus. And we need to give the rawhide full set bonus to Jonathan over there. Gorm looks like an encounter along the ways of the butcher. I don't think so. The Gorm is meant to be a very early monster to hunt. Have no clue on how this is played. The benefit here is I narrate a lot of what happens, and a lot of the game is narrative in what happens. You may not understand exactly what the die roll was, but I'll tell you that the die roll was us punching the ding-dong off of a lion, for example. So you can still follow what's happening, though you might not be able to follow the mechanics exactly. So everybody's ready. Do we have any departing bonuses? We do not. So let's set up a hunt, and then we'll do that battle. So let's go hunt a level 1 white lion. And let's do the Stream Raiders battle. Do you want to move the Founding Stone over to the Bone Darts person? Wouldn't that leave... Oh, we're missing 2 Founding Stones. So we have 1 Fist and Tooth person. So I was having the Founding Stone and the Bone Dart be split up, I think. Oh, Spear Guy has a Founding Stone? Yeah, we can move that one over. Yeah, my survival limit's 3, but that one guy started with 0 survival and only got +2. He didn't get +3. Yeah. Graves gave a limit. We have our natural +1, our language +1, and our Graves +1. Orcish with the most kills, Vexed Lovecraft with the most assists, 6 gold to everybody, Spike with a Barbarian, Orcish with a Buster, 25 gold to each. Tro, let's head on in here. Pop your units in every 5 minutes. I've got to place Berserkers for my quest, I remember that. Are you a berserker? You are a berserker. Pop your units in. We'll get back to that in a bit. Let's go hunt a lion. Scratching grounds. Claw marks scar the ground. The survivors may choose to investigate. Each survivor that investigates gains +1 courage. We might suffer event damage to the arms location or nothing, or find a a lion claw. Our survivors are not getting lit on white claws. I'm pretty happy with everybody hunting here. Like, the worst case scenario is you get 1 damage to your arms. That's not the worst thing in the world. So let's have everybody investigate. This will be left to right. We get ourselves a 6-3-8-8. So green takes arm damage. Everybody else, nothing happens. And everybody gets a courage. So green takes an arm damage, so they now have light damage on their... I thought I saw something move on my light, and it looked like a gigantic mosquito in March, but I think it's just dust. Green takes light arm damage. Everybody else takes nothing, but they all get a courage bonus. So let's add their courage. And that's the end of that hunt event. If no one investigates, we would roll a random one, but everybody investigated. On to the next event, Sea of Golden Grass. Fields of golden grass lay ahead. The event revealer may choose to avoid the plains and roll twice on the hunt event table before moving on the board. Otherwise, everybody gets a courage. And the event revealer, who would be green, because I go left to right, rolls on the table. So 30% chance the monster ambushes us, which is not fun. That's not awful. That's not awful. I think we'll go for this. So everybody gets +1 courage. So he's going to get his bold event. So let's roll for Jonathan. Jonathan's bold event. So he just hit the next level of courage. And he did that on the hunt phase. So we roll here. Courage does what? Courage does nothing until an event or something asks you, hey, what's your courage? As well, when you hit one of those bolded boxes like we just did for that first character, we get to roll on this table and something happens. So we rolled a 3, so we get a speed token for the next showdown. So it's just a very temporary thing. We could have gotten permanent stuff, which is nice. But Fredo is going to get a temporary speed boost. Or sorry, Jonathan's going to get a temporary speed boost. This lets him attack more, essentially. And he also gets prepared. So he gets an ability for the rest of his life, as long or short as that may be. So he is now prepared. So that means that when he's rolling to determine if he's the straggler, he gets to add his hunt XP. So he doesn't get to be the straggler quite as much. And yeah, I'll move that over. I remembered. Well, you remembered. I did not remember. So everybody got their courage. So now we roll on this table to see what happens. Oops. I'm rolling 2 dice. I'm going with the left one, though. I'm going with the right one. The left one was a 4. So the survivors circle the tall grass, lost, roll on the hunt event table before moving on the board. So nothing super bad, but we do still have to do a hunt event here. So we roll for a hunt event. This is the 10s and the 1s column. So we've got a 98. So we go and we find out what hunt event 98 is. Hunt event 98 is Bloody Eyes. The survivors find a trail of blood. It pools in the eye sockets of the stone-faced ground. The blood is still warm. The event revealer, this would be blue, may invest... Or are we still on green? Red, green. We're still on green. The event revealer, green, may investigate and roll a 1d10 or ignore the trail and end the event. What happens if we investigate? 30% chance of a random survivor getting 3 bleeding tokens and everybody taking brain damage. 30% chance of +1 population and everybody taking brain damage. 30% chance, 40% chance, 7, 8, 9, 10, 40% chance of starting the battle early with the monster suffering a wound. The white lion doesn't do a lot of brain damage. And brain damage rolls aren't always the literal worst. I'm going to go for it. Green, roll well. I deleted all my dice, apparently. Green, roll well. 9! Can you heal brain damage? Yeah. So we heal at the end of every fight. Brain damage is also a very misnamed thing in this game. It's mental trauma, essentially, rather than physical brain damage. But it's called brain damage. So 9. So the trail leads to your quarry. The monster's wounded from a previous battle. Start the showdown. At the start of the showdown, the monster suffers a wound. No brain damage. It should be called mind damage or brain trauma or trauma. Well, trauma, I guess, can be physical trauma as well. But yeah, it's not correctly called brain damage. The other confusing thing, super performance, that you might not get, it took me a long time to get, is our brain armor is insanity. So unlike every Cthulhu game you've ever played, insanity here is good. It's basically armor against seeing horrible things. Because if you're insane, you just go, that was weird, as opposed to, being horribly mentally scarred. So keep that in mind. So yeah, we're done the hunt. We get to go fight this lion. Let's clean up the hunt board and let's set up the Lion Showdown. So we are about to start the meat and potatoes of this game, which is fighting this lion. So let's set up the grass the way I like the grass set up. That would be the grass here with red here and green here. And that would be the grass over here with white and blue. I might want to switch those around. Who has bone darts? Yep, that's where I want blue to be. And then green is founding stone and white is going to be fist and tooth. All right. So we get 2 newish terrains here that I don't think we've ever had in a fight. I don't think we've had topple pillar before. So it's got to be 5 spaces away from the monster. It blocks the survivor and monster field of view. It interrupts ranged. Survivors cannot move through spaces occupied by this terrain. If you're beside it, you can spend your action to hop over the pillar and go to the other side. There's not much of use for this pillar, to be honest. It's kind of like the stone pillars where they're not that useful. So if we just set it up kind of out of the way, I think we're pretty okay. And yeah, I can lock the grass. And then we can find out if it gets cleaned up, even if it's locked. And then we get a dead monster. So the dead monster is adjacent to the monster. So let's pop it there. And if we're beside it, we can scavenge with no downside and a chance of getting a basic resource or a random resource from a monster resource deck of your choice. We'll choose the white lion because that's one more chance at getting sinew. Let me reset some of these decks to make sure they're at the ready. And we get an instant wound because it said that we started early. So it's fight time. It's fight time. So for those who may happen to be new, as an extremely high level overview, the monster is going to take its turn, and then each of our survivors are going to take their turn, and then repeat. The monster has AI cards, which tells us what it does, who it attacks, how it attacks. We attack with our weapons, and we attempt to wound the monster by depleting its AI deck. As we hurt the monster, it gets stupider, or perhaps more dangerous, depending on which AI cards are left in the deck. Is this a physical game too? It is very much a physical game. It is a physical game that's like $350 right now. The box is 200 pounds, 20 pounds. It's a big, beefy game. All right, let's go. So the white lion's going to start out with its first attack, which is size up. random threat in field of view. Let me get the monster controller set up where it should be. So random threat in field of view. Everybody's in the field of view, so let's roll a die. 1 through 4, 5 through whatchamacallit, reroll 9s and 10s. So 1 would be red. Hey, look, he got targeted. He gets an insanity. The monster stares down its prey, turn to face the target, roll a 1d10. On a result of 4 or higher, the target suffers a brain damage and is knocked down. So let's roll less than a 4. A 3. He doesn't get knocked down. He doesn't take brain damage. 20 lbs, 20 pounds. I was going to quickly do the math to make that into kilograms, but I can't. But yeah, it's insanely expensive because there's so much. Like these minis, there's a billion of these minis. They're large. 44 kilograms? That sounds around right because it's 454 grams in a pound. Yeah, so we finished size up, so that's the monster's turn. Unfortunately, that means the monster didn't move, which means we have to go to it, which I'm not a huge fan of. We could start out by throwing our bone darts because maybe that'll make the lion charge. So we'll start out with blue. He has bone darts, so we've got this handy table here at the left-hand side. So the bone darts have a speed of 1. That means we roll 1 die. They've got an accuracy of 7. That means we need to roll a 7 or higher to hit. Let's find out if we hit. We don't hit. We don't hit. So that was Kvoth's turn. I don't think that he will move at all. I guess he could move back 1. Yeah, his movement will be moved back 1. So on a survivor's turn, they can act, which would be attacking, taking an action or something, and they can move. Any order, but you have to do 1 and then the other. You can't do like half move. So I don't really want to get too close to the monster. Who's got the best evasion? Jonathan and Randall have the best evasion. Let's have Randall. Randall's going to have to get in there eventually to get all fist and toothy. So let's have Randall move up to the dead monster, and let's have Randall roll to see what he finds on the dead monster. I got kicked out of my own chat, and now I'm back into my own chat. Interesting. So Randall rolls a 10. That means that we get a random resource from a monster resource deck of your choice, and that's going to be the white lion. So let's get ourselves a random resource. We get the lion's tail. I don't super want that, but okay. So that's Randall's turn, and then red and green, I think, are mostly going to stay in the grass. Yeah, I think they're just going to stay in the grass, so that's their turn. So off to the lion's turn. It's going to draw its next AI card. Ground fighting. Okay. So this is a mood card. It comes into play. The monster flops onto its side, waiting for attackers to draw near. While it's in play, the monster stops attacking. We don't draw any AI cards. If anybody ever does an action in any of the adjacent spaces, including diagonal, they get attacked first in a much more deadly way. We get rid of ground fighting when the white lion is wounded. This is actually not that big of a deal for us because we do have bone darts and a spear. So we kind of have all the time in the world to start setting up. And I think we still just want to draw the white lion back to the grass. So we'll have Randall move back into the grass, and that's his turn. Kvoth, actually, you can't hit from here, can you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kvoth can't hit from here, but he can hit from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, we're just going to throw darts forever, essentially, which we could shortcut, right? Because there's no difference between him critical hitting or not. Yeah, there's no difference in him getting a hit or a critical hit. So we'll shortcut this. So we'll say this is the end of our turn. Next turn, the lion does nothing. And then we'll just repeatedly pass the turn until Kvoth finally gets a hit. So that Kvoth is the first one to have done an action on that turn. So Kvotha finally got a hit. Let's see if we actually naturally get it. We don't. Now I want to do this fairly. Let's roll until we get a 7. There we go. Kvotha got a hit as the first action of the turn. So we flip the first hit location deck. I don't know if I shuffled that. First hit location is the beast's femur. So now we have to figure out if we wound the beast's femur or not. We wound by rolling a 4 or higher. If we roll a 10, we critically wound. We do not wound the femur. So that's the turn. Let's go to our next turn. So again, we'll shortcut it to a future turn in which Kvotha has hit at the beginning of the turn. Kvotha hits the beast's knee. Let's see if we wound the beast's knee by rolling a 4 or higher. Hey, we wound the beast's knee. So we take the top AI card, ground fighting gets discarded. That's Kvotha's turn, and we're back to playing without shortcutting everything. Wasn't he the first person, so everybody else would go? Yeah. That was the plan. Kvotha's the first person, so we ended Kvotha's turn. And now we go into everybody else going. The trick is I don't want to be this far away from the grass, but I guess at least our +3 folks are +3, right? So I guess let's get out of the grass. Let's have Randall come on up and head on over here. So he's beside the lion. He's going to attack with Fist and Tooth, which is a speed of 2, and hits on an 8 or higher. We get a 1 and a 2. We fail to hit the lion. Womp, 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 womp. That's Randall's turn. Let's have Jonathan come on up. So Jonathan has the cool ability with the spear of being able to attack with a range of 2, which means he can actually attack from diagonal, because it would be 1, 2. Yeah, the grass is a 20% dodge bonus, which is huge, which is why I would like to stay there, but we're not going to... It's wasting time to just sit there forever, right? So Jonathan attacks with the King's Spear, which is a speed of 3 right now, and hits on a 5. So we get 2 hits on a 7 and an 8. We hit the beast's tail and the beast's ribs. Let's go for the ribs first. We wound the ribs on a 4 or higher. We wound the ribs. There is a wound reaction if the attacker has 3+ understanding, which he does not. He has no understanding. So nothing happens there, but we do get that wound. And now we'll go for the beast's tail. Wound the beast's tail on a 4. We fail to wound the beast's tail. So reflex action, this means it happens whether we wound or not. The monster full moves forward in a straight line. Ends up there. Nobody was in front, so no grabbing happens. Which, hey, look who happens to be right beside the lion. Go to Fredo. You're the last one to go this turn. You're going to attack it with your Founding Stone, which is a speed of 2, and you're going to hit on a 7. You didn't hit. Yeah, we hit the tail from the front of the lion. It's a very long tail. So that's everybody's turn. Next turn, let's move the monster controller over. Who knows where this should have been after all of our shortcutting, but we'll say it's on green now. So the monster's next attack is Bloody Claw. Closest survivor with the most bleeding tokens. Everybody has 0, so that's going to be Godofredo. Speed of 2, accuracy of 2, 3, 4, thanks to the grass. 5, 6, thanks to the +1 from survival and the +1 from monster grease. So the lion has to roll a 6 or higher to hit, and does a lot of bad stuff if it hits. 6 or higher to hit. We got 1 miss and 1 hit. So it would deal 2 damage, make the target suffer -1 survival and 2 bleeding, but Mr. Godofredo has a survival, so he'll use that survival to dodge. Plus he gets an insanity for being targeted. So he dodges, he uses up his survival. He can never dodge again anymore this time around. But yeah. Isn't it no target then, since none have bleeding? I mean, I don't think so. The most bleeding tokens? 0 is a number, right? I've seen some people ask that on forums, but the way I read it, 0 is a number. But I have seen forum posts about that, but my interpretation is 0 is a number, so there is still a valid target, I would think. But that is this game. That is this game for sure. Not having things be perfectly clear. So the lion attacked, the lion missed, well, the lion hit, but we dodged the hit. So we are now ready to attack. So Fredo is a lot more vulnerable now since he can't dodge anymore. So I'm wondering if we want to get like Fredo around, get a hit in, have everybody else swarm in, and maybe Fredo's not so much of a target anymore. So let's have Fredo come around, get on in behind. If in doubt, choose the option that hurts you most, therefore the attack happens. Yeah. I don't like the rule of death that much. I think there is a limit for the rule of death. So Fredo is attacking from behind, which means he gets a +1 to accuracy. So he rolls 2 and he hits on a 6 or higher with the Founding Stone. 1 hit, 1 hit. Beast's Maw. Let's see if we hit the Beast's Maw from behind. Wound on a 6. Crit on a 10. We do not hit the Beast's Maw. Failure. It basically is the game, though. But the game's already extraordinarily tough. I absolutely think there's a limit to the rule of death. I think there's points where it's just like, well, this isn't perfectly clear, so actually everybody dies is just not fun. I'm going to play for fun, so I will bend the rule of death when I feel like it. Beast's Maw, we failed, so the monster rolls triumphantly. Roll 1d10 on a 4+. The attacker suffers +1 brain damage and is knocked down. Like there are, so we don't take the brain damage nor get knocked down. Like there are points where it's just like the interpretations of the rule of death make the game unfun, and it's my game, so tough patooties. Let's have Jonathan come on into the grass, and he gets to attack on the diagonals thanks to the spear. Speed of 3, hits on a 5. 1 hit with that 6. That hit is to the beast's heel. We wound on a 4, we crit on a 10. We fail to wound, no reaction. Let's throw some bone darts from Kvotha here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kvotha rolls a 1 for bone darts, hits on a 7. We hit the chest. We wound on a 4. We wound. Failure reaction, so it doesn't happen. We get the wound. There we go. So that's Kvotha's turn. That just leaves Randall, who is going to come on into the side and take a bite out of this lion. Speed of 2, hits on an 8. No hits. Good job, Randall. Good job. Next turn. All right. White Lion's next turn. We're going to draw an AI card. Terrifying Roar. All non-deaf survivors. Everybody's deaf, right? Or everybody's not deaf. Yeah, nobody's deaf here. Roll 1d10 per target. If it's 2 or higher, then the target's courage, which... If the lion rolls a 1, Jonathan's fine. 2+ and is higher. Oh, a 1 is always fine. Higher than the target's courage. If the lion rolls a 2, Jonathan's fine. From a flavor perspective, though, that attack was the lion going after whoever was bleeding the most. Yeah, flavor doesn't work perfectly on it. So Terrifying Roar. So let's do these 4 dice left to right. So Jonathan's fine. Kvotha is fine. No, it's 2+. If the result is 2... Yeah, so 2+ means 2 or higher. So if the result is 2 or higher... Oh, end is higher than the target's courage. Yes, because the rest have 2. Yeah. Everybody would have been fine on a 2. So green and white are going to get a brain damage. So green loses an insanity and white loses an insanity. And they get knocked back 6. So Randall ends up here and Godofredo ends up here. Same confusion every time this comes up. Yup. Absolutely. Basic action, the furthest survivor in range. That is an equal, this should be over here. That's an equal choice of who to go to. And Randall's got the rawhide armor, the ability to dodge and roll to keep the survival. So it's going to go after Randall. So basic action is going to be a speed of 2 and an accuracy of 5, thanks to the evasion down here. So accuracy of 5. What do you think it is? Do you think it's a 2 or do you think it's an 8? 2 or an 8? 2 or an 8? For those who don't know, Tabletop Simulator will tell us what this is. 8? 8? It's an 8. It's an 8. It was an 8, and then it fell over to a 2. It was an 8. It was an 8. We saw that. We saw that. I wanted to be the 2, but it was an 8. Okay, so he's going to get hit for 1. He'll just take it, I think. No need to dodge this. He takes 1 damage to the waist. Oh no, an armor point. It went away. So this is our turn. Randall's going to get on in behind and bite that lion from behind. Speed of 2, accuracy of 8 or higher. Hits nothing. That's a 3 and a 2. Good job, Randall. Good job. Kavotha, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 can hit from here. Bone darts, speed of 1, accuracy of 7 or higher. We get a hit. We hit the strange hand with the bone darts. We wound on a 4. We crit on a 10. We wound the strange hand. No reaction. So there's 5 wounds left in the deck. I think there's a good chance Jonathan should just get out of the grass. He's got +3 evasion. He stays on the corners with the spear. I think he's fine to get out. We'll also move Mr. Godofredo up on into the grass here. And that'll be Godofredo's turn. So let's have Jonathan. The accuracy boost is nice from going into the blind spot, but this way we stay out of like any runs. So let's go here and attack. Speed of 3, hits on a 5. 1 singular hit. The beast's paw. We wound on a 4, crit on a 10. We wound on a 4, on an 8. So we wound, no reaction. And that's our turn. This is a much easier fight. I really hope we get that sinew, though. So White Lion's next turn, we got to reshuffle the deck. I'd actually kind of like to see ground fighting show up. Size up, random threat in field of view. So that's everybody except for Randall. So we'll do left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in coloration order. I think y'all have gotten the idea of how I do these rolls usually. So 3 would be the third person, which is blue. So blue is going to get sized up. Turn to face. And then roll on a 4 or higher. Brain damage and knocked down. Brain damage and knocked down. So Kavotha has no more insanity. So we take the light brain damage and we get knocked down, but we'll get up again. He's not going to keep us down. Okay, our turn. You have a survivor with bone darts on top of their other weapons. So useful. Yeah, I could see that being handy. Because we are risking a little bit with like a singular bone darts, right? If we lose the bone darts on a hunt, that would suck. Although having bone darts and spear is pretty handy. All right, so our turn. Let's have Randall get on in behind and bite the lion from behind again. Speed of 2, accuracy of 7 or higher. We get double hit. Double hit. We hit the temple and the brow. So we've got a basic action attack on wound, and we've got a basic action on failure. So I guess let's go for the temple first. Let's go for the temple first. So we wound on a 6, we crit on an 8. We wound the temple, so no reaction. And then let's go for the brow. We wound on a 6, crit on an 8. We don't wound the brow, no reaction. All right, let's get that battle going, and then we'll get to the rest of our turn. How's KDM going? Not too bad. This fight's been pretty easy. But we didn't get to go after a Gorm because of the stupid friggin' Gorm climate. Your playthrough has given you so many bones. At some point I have to try the game that's called Too Many Bones. Apparently it's exceptionally good solo. Yeah, the Gorm stopped us from going after the Gorm. Gorm climate sucks. Too many bones sounds dirty. It's about like adventuring and killing skeletons. Orcish with the most kills, Rolling Rock Dave with the most assists, 6 gold to everybody. Orcish with 2 paladins, Musketeer for Spike. Let's head on towards that boss. I'm gonna drop this big old war beast. Pop your units in every 5 minutes. We'll get back to that in a sec. Okay, Jonathan, stab the lion with yo spear. Speed of 3, hits on a 5. I clicked the wrong person here. Randall finished his turn. Hits on a 5, that's a 9 and a 6. That's 2 hits. We hit the neck, and we hit the gut. Let's go for the neck first. We wound on a 4, crit on a 10. Gunner, thanks for that follow. So we wound on a 7, the straining neck. Goodbye wound. Let's go for the fleshy gut. Wound on a 4, crit on a 10. Oh, I wanted that crit. We wound, no failure reaction. This lion's almost dead. Almost dead. That's Jonathan's turn. Kvotha ain't going to do much here. Godo Fredo, you can't get in. So hang out in the grass for a little bit. That's our turn. That's our turn. And the lion's just going to size up. The lion's not really going to attack us. We probably kill this lion pretty handily. Gorm climate's only bad on a 1 to 3 after you get hovel? Wasn't it pretty bad for us this time? Well, not pretty bad, but it was annoying for us this time, right? Or do you just always use your resources? Oh, you mean when you get hovel, Gorm climate is fine, except for when you roll a 1 to 3. I got it. I got it. Okay, so White Lion, surprise, we shuffle the deck of 1, and it draws size up. Random threat in field of view. That's everybody except for Randall. Let's roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We reroll 10s. It's a 4. It's red. So red gets sized up. Don't roll a 4 because he's really good at wounding right now. He gets knocked down and takes a brain damage. Kvotha stands up. Jonathan, you're not going to do... Well, maybe we'll encourage you at some point. We'll see. But Kvotha's going to start out by bone darting. Speed of 1. Accuracy of 7. We roll a 2. Good job, Kvotha. You're very good at what you do. Kvotha, do you have a survival? You do. Tell Jonathan to stand up. Randall, your turn. Hit from behind with fist and tooth. Hits on an 7. Good job, Randall. Good job. A+. Godo Fredo, go do something. Founding Stone hits on a 7. You get 1 hit. I'm basically sending people here to try to get the trap card so that Jonathan will not get the trap card. Glorious Mane, which means we can't roll it, unfortunately, or we can't wound it, but we can maybe steal its mane. If we get a 10 here, we don't. Randall has done a damage this hunt, hasn't he? He has, but he doesn't have weapon. Oh, we didn't give weapon proficiency, and we should have. He had fist and tooth. And yes, he did do damage. And you probably, yeah, you need a weapon proficiency as well. You're a spearman. I forgot that was something we wanted to do during the deep part. So that was Godo Fredo, and Godo Fredo missed the main. All right, Jonathan. There's only 8 cards in the deck. Don't hit the trap card. Drawing 1 card is a way to do that, I suppose. The Beast's Tricep. We wound on a 4, crit on a 10. Good job. Failure, basic action targeting the attacker. So the White Lion's going to move 1. Speed of 2, accuracy of 5. That is a hit and a hit, dealing a damage to body and waist, and he'll just take it. 1 to body, 1 to waist, totally fine. Next turn. Surprise! The White Lion sizes up. Hey, Zergen, how's it going? Random threat in field of view, that is everybody except for green. 3 would be Randall. So Randall gets targeted. Let's roll. Gets knocked down and takes brain damage. All right. So we don't really want the lion to go running over Randall. But I still want to tease out the trap card before having Jonathan go at it with the spear, since he has a speed of 3. So let's have Kvotha throw darts. Hits on a 7. No dice. Let's have Godofredo go in behind. And hits on a 6. Good job. A+. Actually, sorry, Godofredo, you were here, we'll say. And Godofredo, oh, you don't have survival. I don't want Jonathan to use his survival to make Randall stand up. But I guess we will, because maybe we save it. So he's going to encourage Randall to stand up. On a 6 or higher, we keep that survival point. We don't keep that survival point, but hey, Randall stood up. Let's have Randall get on in behind and bite. Speed of 2, accuracy of 7. Double skulls, no hit. All right, well, the entire plan was to make Jonathan not trigger the trap card, but let's trigger the trap card. Speed of 3, hits on a 5. That looks like a hit to me. I guess there's still 6 cards left in the deck. This won't be a trap card, or this, right? Hey, look at that. Let's go for the flank so that it doesn't run out of the way. We wound on a 4, crit on a 10. We wound on a 4. Cats hate this. The monster is very upset. The attacker gets the priority target. So Jonathan is the priority target now. And time for the flank, or the back. Time for the back. We might kill it here. Remember to use the give insanity to everyone before the end of the showdown. We have to spend an action to do that. So we would need a turn where Jonathan has not attacked. And remember, insanity is not always great. It just usually is. So we wound on a 4, we crit on a 10. Hey, we wound. The White Lion is dead. Dead lion. Dead lion. That was easy. See how good weapons are? See? Do you see? All right, so everybody gets a hunt XP for killing a lion. Nope, just one. Just one. Hunt XP for everybody. And then weapon proficiency. And weapon proficiency. And then rewards. We get a sinew. Level 2 White Lion next time? Nope. We should not have actually killed that level 2 White Lion when we did it in the last settlement. Theoretically, you should start hunting level 2s like here, like Lantern Year 14 or so. They're not something that you just casually go after. We got some testes, we got the shimmering mane, and we got a curious hand. The curious hand does something, right? It gives us insanity. Random survivor gets insanity. That would be blue. Blue gets an insanity. And then we get 4 basic resources. We get hide, 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 skull. A survivor of my choice gets an insanity. Let's go with white. And there we go. We're ready to go back to the settlement now. Yeah, the level 2 requires dash. And you'd be pretty happy as well if you have the equivalent of dash. Surge. When's the next stream? I'm taking next week off, as we talked about at the start of the stream. So the next KDM stream would be the 9th. The 9th. Which I think I also said will be the final marbles for the season. Okay, so let's head back home. Let's clean up. Ooh, yeah, let's see if cleaning up works with locked stuff. It does work with locked stuff. That's handy. All right, so let's head back to the settlement. So we're going to get ourselves 4 endeavors. Nobody has anything on return. Heading off? Sounds good. Sounds good. I mean, there will be a set review stream before the 9th, I think. There will be a set review stream on, theoretically, the 7th. Although I did ask if I could actually find out when everything's going to be revealed. But that, yeah, there will be a set review before the next KDM stream. So we got our endeavors. Let's heal everybody up. And update the timeline. We are on Lantern Year 3. Let's do our random event for the year. It's Hunt Reenactment. Let's choose 2. Let's choose our favorite survivor. Our favorite survivor, this one. And our least favorite survivor is this one. And we'll roll. We gonna value hats and pants higher this time? Like in the set? No. You can't, you gotta remember that in Magic, one set has literally no bearing on the next. Will equipment be stupidly good in the next one? I hope not. But no, there's very specific things that have made equipment good in Kaldheim, and I strongly doubt that those things will be in Strixhaven. Let's not roll a 1, 2, or 3. That's a 3. The hunter's dead, but the monster gets Monster Claw. Monster Claw is really good. So who was our favorite? Was the hunter? Okay, so that's another female dead. So we're gonna have to make some females here. So the female died, but the male gets Monster Claw. Yeah, Monster Claw is amazing if you're Fist and Tooth. Like Randall having Monster Claw would be amazing. Let's pack Randall up for a second here. And spawn this person. So this person gets Monster Claw. That's a regular fighting art, right? Yeah. So Monster Claw is your Fist and Tooth attacks get +1 accuracy and +1 strength, and Savage. Savage is the first time you wound again? After the first critical wound, you get an extra wound, just automatically. Garrick. Yeah, let's have Garrick be the Monster Claw dude. He's not going to necessarily be in our fights right away, just because he doesn't have much else going for him. He got a survival for being named, but he doesn't have any hunt XP. He doesn't have proficiency, so he's gonna get packed back up and sent back to the Shadow Realm. And we're gonna bring back Randall here. So there's that event done. Yeah, there also just shouldn't be that much equipment for Strixhaven. You think I gave that to the wrong person? was the bottom male. Yeah. Isn't the fighting style better than the proficiency in the XP? I mean, he's got the +1 luck. He's got the +2 strength. I don't think so. Oh, no, he doesn't. He has +2 strength as well. Oh, yeah, because he was the one who got punchy after having a baby, didn't he? Yeah, he got punchy after it. So, yeah, actually, you know what? Maybe Garrick will head out instead of Randall. Let's pack Randall up for the time being. Garrick will go on the next hunt. Anyways, we got to do Gorm climate now. Oh, you thought I packed up the third board. I see. So Gorm climate. Let's find out how awful it is this time. So Gorm climate shows up next year. Let's roll. A 6. Does the settlement have hovel? No. The echoing cries carried on the wind wear out the returning survivors, reduce their insanity to 0. They must skip the next hunt. This sucks. All right, so at least Garrick doesn't have to skip the next hunt, but these are all skipping the next hunt. I deeply dislike this Gorm climate stuff. What's Ursula 2? Why is Ursula 2 down here? Yeah, Randall wasn't hunting anyways, but that was 3 of our survivors that had hunt XP that I wanted to continue helping out. Ursula is blind. And yeah. Sorry, Ursula. I don't think you're going back out. If you look at the yes for Hobble, you get a flat +2 to all home events that year. That's pretty handy. So we need to kind of get our hands on Hobble. Okay, so let's distribute these, and then we're gonna need some more survivors to get out. So we'll get the female that was really punchy after giving birth. So much hide. Okay, so we can't make the bow because we still don't have. Oh, we have 1 bone. This means we again cannot innovate. If we innovate, we don't get bone, or we don't get a bow. You can unlock Hovel during the event. The Gorm shows up. How do you get that event? Wait, can we not hunt the Gorm yet? I thought we could. Yeah, we can hunt the Gorm. God, I hate how few weapons we have. If you open the approaching storm, if you roll a 6, you get. Oh, okay. So we had 1 chance to get it. And we probably rolled a 1 or something, I would imagine. All right, let's innovate. Testes, skull, hide. We can do inner lantern, which gives us surge, or paint, which gives us dash. Huh. You're on paint for dash? Dash does up survivability a fair bit. I think that makes me just want to make another rawhide set so that we just have like people left and right re-rolling their survivals. Let's go for paint. So everybody has dash now. Oops. So. Yeah, we can't like make anything cat armor wise. We could make a lion headdress. What does the headdress do? Where is the headdress? It's an accessory that is flammable. It's just an incredibly crappy helm. Oh, it's an accessory, so you can wear this in addition to one armor. I see. I see. Yeah, I think I just want, like, I love me rawhide sets. What is Curious Hand used for? Nothing here. Yeah, let's do another rawhide set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll give that to one of our many unnamed survivors. I guess we'll give it to the one who doesn't have bone darts. Let's just copy this gear grid. Headband, vest, no monster grease. Boop, boop, boop. Do we get any more buildings? No. You generally only get buildings now when you either build them with these 3 abilities at the bottom or when you kill a new monster. But we've only been killing cats. Let's get rid of this priority target. So I guess we're just on endeavors now, eh? And we have a very important resource, so augury's gotten a little bit less interesting, but we could still go for augury here. Are any of them worth building? We need way more resources than we have. Like, we need 3 hides and an organ, 3 bones and a hide, or 3 organs and a hide. We ain't got them resources. We do want to get leather at some point. Leather can get us a shield if we don't get the Gorm one. So I guess we'll do augury. Let's have Garrick do augury, since he's definitely headed out. Garrick gets a survival. He's already at max survival. Why is he at max survival? Where did he get all that survival from? He got 1 from being named. Oh yeah, he was a parent and he got +10, didn't he? All right, well, that's Garrick's thing. Let's have him do it again. 8. We get to make a baby. Let's go with unnamed survivor here. And unnamed survivor above Garrick. Roll our 2 dice. 3. Let's re-roll that 3. Let's use the unnamed male's re-roll for that. 7. So 5. New baby. And we'll make that a female because we had a female die. And that... Did I delete the endeavor already? I think I deleted the endeavor already for that. Let's have Garrett go again. We're just going to do all the baby risks here. Time to make a baby again. We'll have those 2 parents go at it again. 8 and a 4. Sure, new baby. Let's have that be a female as well. And then let's have Garrick do it again. He's really good at making those 2 have babies. Good job, Garrick. Babies again. 5 and an 8. New baby. Look at that. Look at that. So many new babies this year. Oh, I need to do the strength and evasion, because they're new survivors, and understanding because of graves. Okay. Okay, we got triplets this year. All right. So we need 3 new, I believe, survivors. Because Jonathan's missing a hunt, Randall's missing a hunt, and Godofredo's missing a hunt. Wait. Yes. Yes. And Kvotha are missing hunts. Please name them now so we don't accidentally pair them. They weren't triplets. They were all born separately. It was the same parents, but because if we name them, people are going to name them Will and Rowan. You know that. Um, yeah. Give me a male and female name. We'll send out that mother who had the +2 strength, so she's going out for sure. Sam and Sam. You're making this difficult. Lexia is her name. She gets a survival for being named. Welcome to the world, Lexia. Let's give her a character model. Yeah, let's have her be here. And then we'll need... So everybody else is equal, right? Everybody else is just +1 strength, +1. Oh, I need to move these dead people down. This is why moving dead people to the bottom is going to be annoying. Now I remember. Now I remember. Because new survivors go at the bottom. What I should do is probably beside their name, just in all caps, be like dead. So it's much easier to notice that they are in fact dead. Yeah, so everybody else is equal. Xinchan's volunteering to die. Xinchan, male or female? Missing hunts. Reroll used. Female, please. No reroll used. +1 strength, +1 evasion. Xinchan. No. Survival for being named. Congratulations. Let's give you Ezra. And we needed one more. Joseph. Alto guy said Joseph. Let's have Joseph be here. Joseph, survival, spawn. Let's give a character model to that. Let's go with Alistair. Okay. We've got a party ready to head out. I send you to the butcher. The butcher's next year. So, I think we're ready to head out. Those who know anything about the Gorm, are we able to fight a Gorm? We have a spear, bone darts, and a decent fist and toothman. God, I hate that nobody we're sending out can get weapon proficiency. That's annoying. You're probably going to say hi to the butcher? Maybe. I suspect we won't send necessarily our A-team at the butcher. All right, people who are familiar with the Gorm don't seem to know. Yeah, chat's dead, you don't know nothing. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. YouTube, we'll be right back. On to Gorm. So we need to prep people. Survival limit, you're going to get yourself 2 survival. You're going to get yourself 2 survival, so not quite going to hit the max. And then it looks like 2 evasion to everybody who has stuff. So 2 evasion to everybody who is not blue. So evasion. And did I miss anything? Doesn't look like it. Let me reset these. Okay, so it's time to go hunt a Gorm, which I've not done. Hunt. Gorm, level 1. So YouTube, if you haven't seen this, this is the Gorm. It's like a baby anglerfish elephant hippo thing. Mating fields. Ahead, the ground is covered in mounds of foul-smelling, corrosive vomit. Any of the survivors may choose to investigate. Each that does gains +1 courage and rolls on the table. Okay, so this is like the Lion one, except the 4 to 8 also does damage. So 1 leg damage, 30% chance. 50% chance of a brain damage. 20% chance of a random resource. I like resources. I like resources a lot. Ruckus, thanks for that follow. Check if there's any specific pre-showdown event before the Gorm fight as well. Can't remember if there's any for level 1. Where would that be? Pre-showdown event. I don't know where that would be. There's not for level 1. It's only for level 2 and 3. Oh, okay. How does that show up? What does that show up? What does that do? Does that show up during the hunt phase? Pull up the Gorm Showdown. Oh, in the rules book. I see. I see. Oh, if you depart to hunt level 2 Gorm, Fetid Grotto. If you depart to hunt the level 3 Gorm, Final March. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Also, we'll have to come back to this book at some point to figure out how this works. No sound, you accidentally muted the tab. Well done. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of having Garrett go for it, because he's leg armor intense. Garrick takes a brain damage. I don't think I want to do any more of the mating fields. And we don't have to do a random event because at least one person investigated. Vulture Prime, thanks for that follow. Sportsman's Kill. The survivors pass a finely armored man commanding a retinue of slaves who are busily butchering the remains of an enormous Gorm. The man proudly invites the survivors to marvel at his skill. Roll a 1d10. 10. The man takes pity on you and whispers a secret. At the start of the showdown, the event revealer reveals the top card of the AI deck and chooses to replace it or put it on the bottom of the AI deck. Does Garrett get a courage? Yes. Boop. All right, random event. And then it looks like we're ready for the Gorm. So the random event will be... Is that 100? Yeah, 10-10 would be 100. 100. That's as high as it goes. The finale. An enormous metallic sound rings out from a distance. All survivors are electrified with dread. They suffer 2 brain damage. Boop, 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 boop. The survivors may follow the sound, otherwise they panic and retreat in the opposite direction, end this event, and move the survivors 2 spaces back on the hunt board. Each survivor gains +1 courage and gingerly approaches the sound's origin. As they travel, they pass the shattered corpses of strange beasts. If any survivor has 3+ understanding. No. They follow the trail of corpses. Otherwise, harvest 3 random basic event sources and end the event. So we could go back 2 spaces, or everybody could get a courage and 3 a courage and we would get 3 basic resources. That's not bad, right? Wait, do the event. Do we have a choice? We don't have 3+ understanding. So otherwise, harvest 3 random resources and end the event. So we don't get to do the event. Oh, we don't get to do the table. We don't get to do the table, but we get to get an a courage for everybody and 3 resources. So what's the event? D10. The knight stares at the survivors. All survivors with less than 3 courage are struck dead. Well, that's not good. 2 to 8. You get a steel sword and a steel shield in exchange for bleeding. Then you maybe get a thunder maul. Well, that's pretty cool. Cool. So we get 3 resources and everybody gets a courage. So courage, 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 and 3 basic resources. We get a monster organ. We get a monster organ. And we get a monster bone. And that's that event. So that's event 100. Now we fight the Gorm. Let's clean up the hunt. And let's hunt the Gorm. It's a coming. It's a coming. Okay, so what do we got? We got tall grass. We got a toppled pillar. Again, I don't care about the pillar. We'll put it up here. And we've got 3 stone columns. Again, I don't care about the stone columns. We'll put one here. We'll put one here. And we'll put one here. You can't move the tall grass? Okay, it's locked. Yeah, so tall grass in the green zone. Similar setup to the white lion, but it has to be 3 on the edge. And then you've got here, or 3 here, and then up here, or 3 here. And it's always what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's always 6 spaces away from the monster. 2 random resources. Gorm in the center. Blind spots are behind. Okay. Anything special with the Gorm? Not really. All right. I guess we're hunting a Gorm. We're going to get Rechtabon. That sounds lovely. Vulture Prime, thanks for that follow. I missed that as well. Okay, so let's... I guess let's see what the... Oh, we don't get to look at the top card, right? That was that something? That was something? Okay, we do get to look at the top card. There's so much to remember in a game of Kingdom Death Monster. I think that would be one of the upsides to playing with other people. So Wallop would be the top card. So that would be closest threat and field of view in range. Speed of 2, accuracy of 2, and a damage. It's not bad. I think I'm fine with that being the first attack. Also, what's Illuminate? The Gorm's bulb increases in intensity, suddenly making the darkness light. Until the end of the next round, all survivors are now threats, even if they're knocked down. So it's basically the same as Sniff, except insane survivors get knocked down as well. Okay. All right, so the Gorm wallops. Closest threat in field of view in range. That's everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's everybody. They get knocked down, but they'll get up again. So it's never going to keep them down? Yeah, so I guess we'll target red. Get the insanity. Is there any way that we can move this? Shortest distance would be just straight ahead, eh? So there's a chance we could move it there. I guess people can get up it towards that grass. So yeah, I guess we'll come down like this, and we'll find out if this is bad or not. But it's targeting red. He's the monster controller. He doesn't. She doesn't have a name. We didn't name this person. Why didn't we name that person? We had Lexia. We had Xin-Chan. Give me a name. Give me a name. We need a name for this person. The name is not Lord's Baby. AG? AG. She gets a survival for being named. And now she's going to get walloped. Congratulations on having a name. It's time for you to get punched. Speed of 2, accuracy of 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 or higher. That would be a hit and a hit, dealing 1 damage each to body and head. She's got armor. She's fine. Body and head. All right. So now it's time for us to get out of here a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This thing is big. It's kind of hard to get around it. I guess he can get on in behind. And he can go and bite it in the butt. Speed of 2. Yeah, it's a 3x3 instead of a 2x2. Speed of 2, accuracy of 7 because he's in the blind spot. He gets himself double hits here. I meant to shuffle the deck, not the dice. Double hits. We're going to bite the rump and the distended gut. And it appears that it's going to retch on everybody in front of it. Let's go for the distended gut first. Oh yeah, I do have dash, that's true. Yeah, and he's the one attacking, so he can't use dash, but he's behind, so they'll all have a chance to dash. Yeah, that's true. What's star damage? Event damage. Level damage. So this is a level 1, so it would be 1 damage. So yeah, let's go with the distended gut, see if we just successfully bite its gut or not. Retch moves the Gorm backwards. Oh yeah, it moves the Gorm backwards too. So what's his face will get hit here if we don't hit the gut and fail to hit the rump. But everybody else can dash out of the way of the vomit, which I haven't read what the vomit does yet. Do we wound the gut? We wound on a 6. We crit on a 9. That looks like a 7 to me. And it says it's a 7. We wound the distended gut. We get a wound. Now we rolled a wound on the rump, and we kind of want to miss, I think. We wound on a 6. We crit on a 9. I guess crit would be fine too. Hey, we miss. So it doesn't happen. Yay, no vomiting. So what does vomit do? Moves it 2 backwards. Everybody in the vomit zone takes a damage that ignores armor. Gross. Gross, gross, gross. For various reasons. All right. Let's have... So we got what? We got Spearman, we got Stoneman, and we got Dartsman. Hope you don't end up removing the mood card that gives you free ammonia. That would be nice. All right, let's have Spearman head up here, and then she can stab. I thought I spawned a male. Spear. All right, so let's have her stab from the corner here. Speed of 2, accuracy of 6. 1 singular hit. The wrinkled elbow with a failure reaction. Wounds on a 4, crits on a 10. We crit the elbow, so that's a wound. And the Gorm's pathetic howl emboldens the survivors. The attacker gains +1 survival. She's already at her max, though. All right, let's have Xinqian come on up the side here. She's got Founding Stone, speed of 2, accuracy of 7. No dice. No dice. And then Lexia, let's have you head on up here and bone dart it. Speed of 1, accuracy of 7. You missed. All right. All right. All right. Not bad. Not a bad first turn. Not a bad first turn. So, the Gorm's turn. The Gorm scratches. Closest threat facing in range is nobody. Closest threat in field of view would be Xinqian. Speed of 1, accuracy of 2, 3, 4, 5. And before damage, reduce all armor points at all rolled hit locations to 0. Did Randall die? He's not available for this hunt. Speed of 1, accuracy of 5, and she can dodge this. And it misses anyways. So there was no damage, so we wouldn't do the before damage trigger. Well, that was pretty good. That was quite good. So let's have Xinqian get out of the vomit zone and hit from the side with the Founding Stone. Speed of 2, accuracy of 7. 1 hit. She hits the skull. Wounds on a 6, crits on a 10. We wound on a 6. It's got a wound reaction. Turn the Gorm to face the opposite board edge and full move forward in a straight line. The opposite board edge. So here, I would assume. And then full move straight ahead. So we'll have Lexia dash, I guess, out of the way. Or she's just going to get knocked over, isn't she? She's not going to take any damage or anything. You think it means from Xinqian? That's what I was wondering, but like, you always took it to mean opposite of the attacker? I guess that makes sense because it's running away from you. I guess that makes sense. So we can have Garrick. Yeah, there's no grab. It's not the white lion. So the question is, do we want Garrick to get knocked down? I don't think it's worthwhile because he can re-roll this, so he can dash. Spends a survival. Rolls a 3, does not keep the survival. But he just goes, ah! And then the Gorm runs this way. So that was Xinqian's turn. Would expect it to say face away from the attacker in that case. Yeah, there was some clarity things there. So hey, look, Garrick happens to be able to come around and bite the thing in the butt again. That's true. We could also just encourage him. Kind of works out in the same, doesn't it? So Garrick bites from behind, so blind spot, so we hit on a 7. Good job, Garrick. Good job at not hitting at all. Let's have AG come on up to do her corner hit. Speed of 2, accuracy of 6. That would be 1 hit. Doesn't collision cause knockback as well? No, landing on top of, ending the turn on top is the knockback. But if you go through and don't end up on a survivor, then they just get knocked down. Xinqian, trap, lure paroxysm. Full move the Gorm towards the attacker. Done. If the monster ends movement adjacent to the attacker, the Gorm headbutts them with its enormous skull as its lure dances frantically atop its head. That's not Xinqian, that's Red. Red just attacked. Xinqian sure didn't just attack. She's far away. Right? Or have I totally missed something? Because she attacked from the corner with her spear. I think I'm right. So it headbutts. The attacker suffers event damage to the head. Okay, so that's 1 damage to the head. Turn the monster to face the most survivors. Done. Each survivor in the monster's facing is knocked down and suffers brain damage. I said I was doing it to Xin-Chan. Oh, I just said the name wrong. I got it. So everybody gets knocked down. There's nothing special about facing. It faces like normal. So everybody gets knocked down and brain damage? Jesus. So that's going to be a couple of trauma rolls here. What does in the monster's facing means? 180 degrees in front of it. So basically everything in this line and below. So everything here. That's rough. That's super rough. So I guess for that trap card, we want to make sure that we're maybe a little bit on multiple sides, I guess. Because we got brain trauma going for Xin-Chan and we got brain trauma going for Garrick here. Brain trauma for Xin-Chan. Frenzy. Frenzy's fine. Red gets knocked down too and takes brain damage as well. Oh, yeah, because it's everybody. So Xin-Chan gets 1d5 insanity. 3 insanity for Xin-Chan. Ignore slow. That's not applicable, but we get a speed and a strength. That's pretty dang applicable right now. And then we can't use fighting art. She doesn't have any. We can't spend survival. That sucks. No weapon specializations. Doesn't matter. Garrick's brain trauma is dying. So we'll have Garrick re-roll that. Garrick's brain trauma is not dying. Garrick's brain trauma is a new perspective. Garrick is knocked down and gains some insanity. Gains 1 insanity. All right. So that sucked. Next turn, I guess. The brain trauma wasn't that bad. Everybody getting knocked down and us not getting to do anything was kind of poop-tastic. Next card, Aggravated Bite. Closest threat facing in range. Nope. Closest threat in field of view. Nope. Illuminate, because there is no target. Illuminate. The Gorm's bulb increases in intensity, and suddenly making the darkness light until the end of the next round. All survivors are now threats, even if they're knocked down or used an effect that says otherwise. Insane survivors get knocked down. All right, nothing happens. We stand up. We stand up. Okay. AG. AG? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hop into the grass, stab it in the butt. Speed of 2, accuracy of 6. 1 hit. We hit the mammoth testes. Wound on a 4, crit on a 10. We wound the mammoth testes. Oh wait, if you attack from the Gorm's flank, gain +2 strength when attempting this wound location. A space adjacent to the monster that is not the monster's facing or blind spot. So no. Right? Adjacent never means orthogonal, right? Although this doesn't matter because we rolled, what, a 7, so +2 still wouldn't do it. That's not the blind spot. Wait, what? A space adjacent to the monster that is not in the monster's facing or blind spot. Yeah, so it's diagonally adjacent, but this game typically... This game explicitly defines adjacent as not diagonal, right? Just orthogonal. Yeah, and we hit anyways, and even +2 strength wouldn't give us the wound. Or sorry, wouldn't give us the crit. But we wouldn't have a crit. Because it's not luck. Right. You were adjacent by the rules in the card, but it doesn't. Yeah, we would have wounded and we would not have crit anyways. Is adjacent in the glossary? Adjacent. A miniature is adjacent to another when it occupies a space, one space in a cardinal, non-diagonal, and orthogonal direction. Okay. It might give you the second wound. Second wound. We don't have savage or anything, right? Yeah, there's no second wound. Okay, so we did that. So that's AG's turn. We got a battle to do, and then we'll get back into that. Let's see if we can do this boss battle. So this fight's been okay so far. Now that I've learned about the splash zone. Don't forget Garrick has +1 accuracy to Monster Claw, right? That shows up in the UI, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. No, because it's a fighting art. Thought I rolled 2. No, I rolled a 2 and a something. So I only got the 1 wound. Uh-oh, we are not attacking the boss as a team. That must have been an orcish barbarian there. Hey, the boss is dead. Who has Franks? Frenzy? Green has Frenzy. Garrick got a new perspective on life after nearly dying of mortal terror instead. I got the most kills. I got the most assists. Damn right. 8 gold to everybody, 2 monks to Dirk, and 2 musketeers to Zombwe. Boss defeated. Let's head on in. Pop your units in. I should have a berserker ready again, right? So I can complete my quest. Yeah. Pop your units in every 5 minutes. We'll get back to that in a bit. Curious why you pronounce AG as AG? You just read it as EG? I was reading it as a relatively Japanese name. So AG. I was just using Japanese syllabizing there. But Ichiro, you could confirm the proper pronunciation. Probably Pike. Thanks for that follow. So AG did her attack. So we've got Garrick and Lexia and what's her face at the ready. Garrick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get on in behind. Bite it from behind. Speed of 2. Accuracy of 8. 7 for the blind spot. 6 for the monster claw style. Hits on a 6. 1 hit. 1 hit. Spongy leg bone. If you attack from the Gorm's flank, nope. So we wound on a +1 strength, right? We wound on a 5, crit on a 9. Wound on a 6. No crit, but we get the wound. Oh no, I was asking the name AG. I know Ichitro's not. But the name that you chose for you chose AG for or IG. You chose this name, right? Somebody did. Whoever chose this name. You didn't come up with it? Whoever came up with this name can let me know if I'm supposed to be pronouncing it. Ursula did. Am I supposed to be pronouncing it? Oh, you came up with it. So you read it as EG. Okay. EG from now on. Okay. So Garrick got your hit. So Lexia, head on up into the tall grass. Throw your bone darts. It's pronounced Steve. Fair. Lexia, single die, hits on a 7, no dice. And then Zinchan, you can't even get up there, so head on up. Face it dead on. Face it dead on. Next turn. Maw arm toss. And everybody is a threat. Random threat in range. So that's everybody. That's everybody. These 4 dice. Wait, why am I rolling 4? I want to roll 1 to decide a random threat. So left to right, character sheets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, roll a 9 or a 10. So this would be white. So white is the target of the Maw arm toss. Full move towards the target. Done. Starting with the target, always roll 4 and highest gets to be the attacked. Oh, that's a way to do it too. Starting with the target, make a separate attack against each survivor adjacent to the Gorm. Nobody else is adjacent. Speed of 2, accuracy of 2, 3, 4, 5. Speed of 2, accuracy of 5. No hits, no need to dodge. So it would have been, what, 1 damage and knockback 5? It's not awful. Not awful. All right, our turn. Garrick, get out of the vomit zone. Bite its flank. Speed of 2, accuracy of 7, thanks to Monster Claw style or Monster Fighting style. Whew. Double 10s. We hit the Fluorescent Lure, and we hit the Mammoth Mandible. Death blow. Death blow is if it dies on this attack, right? I think. Because the butcher has a death blow, right? Yeah, if we kill it with that hit. Okay, and we're not killing it with the hit. So let's go for the lure, because it's got like no downside, right? Wound on a 5, crit on a 9. We wound. So there's nothing else on this card. It's a blank card, essentially. Okay. And then we'll go for the Mammoth Mandible. Wound on a 5, crit on a 9. Ooh, we crit the Mandible. The Ruined Mandible swings limply from the Gorm's jaw. Roll a 1d10. On a result of 5+, the attacker hacks away the arms and gains +1 courage and +1 survival. Well done, Garrick. +1 courage, +1 courage, and +1 survival. That means that Garrick gets to do his bold thing for the showdown phase. Do we get to keep the arms? Maybe. 9. So Garrick becomes stalwart and also gets a permanent strength boost. So he ignores being knocked down by brain trauma or intimidate. Fighting art? Garrick rolls again. Oh, yeah, because it's got Savage. Right. But we don't roll again, right? We just get an instant wound, I think, for Savage. Yeah, extra wound. So we just boom, do an extra wound because we crit there. Yeah, his fighting art is Monster Claw style, so his Fist and Tooth gets Savage. Yeah, well done, Garrick. Garrick's a beast. All right. Well then. This Gorm's a pushover. Garrick just needs a luck charm now. Luck charm does what? +1 luck, or do you have to complete the blue stuff for luck charms? In my off-stream one, I ended up doing luck charms. Yeah, you have to complete the blues to get the +1 luck. I found completing the blues a little bit tricky. What did you complete your blues with? Bandages, maybe? Bandage and like an arrow, or fecal salve, maybe? Okay, so Garrick did his thing. Fecal Salve and Rawhide set. What was off of the Rawhide? There's no blue on Rawhide on the left or right. Oh, right. It doesn't have to connect itself. It just has to be two connected squares. Right. It's not a puzzle affinity. It's the other non-puzzle kind of affinity. Okay, so Garrick finished. Let's have Lexia throw her bone dart. Speed of 1, accuracy of 7. She misses. Well done, Lexia. Good job. We're all very proud of you. AG. I think Ursula said EG. EG attacks with the spear from the corner. Speed of 2, accuracy of 6. One singular hit with the spear to the mammoth backstrap. Just a failure reaction. Wounds on a 4, crits on a 10. Failure reaction. Turn the Gorm to face the opposite board edge and full move forward in a straight line. Hey, Zinchan, how about you dash away this way? And then Gorm full moves. Really wish Garrick could get improved accuracy, but you guess there's always got to be some downside. Yeah. Reroll did a Rawhide set. Yep. Also, I should actually give her that, She keeps her survival. All right, so that was EG's turn. So, Zinchan, you are going to hop on in behind and come on. And stab it with your Founding Stone. Speed of... she can't use her survival. She's got Frenzy. So where was she? She was here because she was facing it down. So yeah, she can't use her survival, so she just gets knocked over. Haha! I caught a rules mistake. All right, so that's our turn. Next turn. I wish there was an easier way for me to remember the monster controller. So, Gorm, one of your final two things, exotic MTG. Thanks for that follow. Scratch. Closest threat facing in range is nobody. Closest threat in field of view has got to be Lexia. So, Lexia, let's move on over. Bloop. Speed of 1, accuracy of 2. 3, 4, thanks to the grass. 5. So speed of 5. Does it hit? It hits her. Scratches her. So it's attempting to do 1 damage to the waist and take away all of her armor, which I think she's fine with. We're not going to use a dodge on that. She takes her scratch to the waist. That's fine. Our turn. Zinchan, stand up. Lexia, get out of the vomit zone and throw your bone sword or your bone darts. Hits on a 7 or higher. We hit. Exotic MTG coming on in with a party of 11. How's it going, folks? We're not playing Magic today. We're playing Kingdom Death Monster. If you don't know what this is a ludicrous board game. The physical copy is like $350. There's a lot to it. Basically, if you know XCOM and you know Monster Hunter, smash them together and throw in a healthy dose of Dark Souls. For example, we're currently fighting this horrifying thing. And doing pretty well at it. Yeah, it's sort of a tactics fighting game. Tons of die rolls. The most randomness you've ever seen in your life. You hunt monsters to get their bits. Use their bits to make better armor and weapons to go hunt more monsters to get better bits. Typically, you're looking to fail your campaign. Finishing a campaign successfully is not really in the cards most of the time, but you end up with a really cool story at the end. Our last, also, we haven't done anything yet, right? I should have, before I did this whole thing, I should have thought about what we were doing. I don't think we've done anything yet. People can tell me about this if I did forget something. But yeah, so if I lost my train of thought. So you go through this game, you play a campaign over a series of lantern years, which then result in all kinds of story events happening, and you end up with a huge story. So we actually just unsuccessfully did a settlement called Kaldheim, which had survivors named Will and Rowan. Rowan murdered Will, and then another survivor killed her in retribution for that. It's a game. It's a game and a half. It's a game and a half. But yeah, thanks for that raid, Exotic. Go give Exotic MTG a follow. Get some Magic content, and of course, if you're looking for Magic content, I usually do Magic content on Wednesdays. I'm over at youtube.com/TheManaLeak as well. Thursday nights, I'm usually in the Sweatsuit Invitational that Hunter Pence puts on. But today is my off Magic day. So darts. Yeah, darts, not green. Darts hit. Darts hit. So we're about to draw a hit for darts. This is where we are right now? Yes, because we rolled this 9. So we threw some bone darts from Lexia here at the Gorm. We rolled a 9, which is our hit, thanks to this handy table that we have here. So we draw a hit location and we find out where we hit. We hit the Mammoth Hindgut. However, we haven't wounded the Mammoth Hindgut. We have to see if we wound it. We hit it, but maybe the bone dart just kind of flopped off. This is a mod on Tabletop Simulator. So if you get yourself Tabletop Simulator, you can go to the workshop and grab the Kingdom Death Monster mod. If you want the physical copy, it's $350. It's on pre-order right now. I've got mine coming. At some point this summer, I should get it. And it's basically a hobby in a box, because it is this massive board game, but it's also all of these minis. They're all Warhammer style minis where you put every piece together, you paint those minis. It becomes your life, essentially. It becomes your life. So we're going to hit the Mammoth Hindgut, so we have to roll to see if we wound it or not. We wound on a 3, and we critically wound on a 10. So we rolled a 3, so we wound it. So the cool thing here, for the folks who just came in, there's no health bar. There's no hit points. You wound the monster by discarding cards from its attack deck. So as you wound the monster, its attack deck gets narrow and narrow and narrow, which means maybe it gets weaker and weaker and weaker, or maybe its strongest attack is left in the attack deck, and then you're just in trouble. But we just wounded it there. Dirk Magician, thanks for that resub. Semulin coming on in with a raid. How's it going, folks? One moment here. Let's remember that we have to do the wound reaction. Folks coming on in from the raid, you are about to see this thing puke on us. Welcome. If you're coming on in from Semulin's raid, welcome. We're playing Kingdom Death Monster. I play this on Fridays now. This is XCOM plus Monster Hunter as a board game, essentially. You are a group of survivors in a weird, strange, grimdark, I guess, sort of world. Fighting monsters to kill them, to get their bits, to use their bits to make better armor and weapons, to go hunt more monsters to get more bits, essentially. It is brutal. It is massively random, but you end up with a really cool story. We actually last week just finished a settlement called Kaldheim, which utterly failed, just like the set. In that settlement, we had characters named after magic people. We had Will and Rowan. Rowan murdered Will, and then another survivor killed her out of retribution, which was actually how the settlement ended, because that last survivor was the only remaining survivor. But we're on a new one, and we're fighting this thing. We just successfully wounded its Mammoth Hindgut. However, there is a wound reaction here, and that wound reaction is perform Retch. So we move the Gorm 2 spaces backwards, so it goes boop, boop, and it pukes on everything 4 spaces ahead. So that would be, and just in front of itself. Oh, to the sides too. So all 3 of these are going to get vomited on. This is the first time I've had these people get vomited on. So what does it do? Survivors in the vomit zone suffer 1 damage to a random hit location that ignores armor. Okay. So let's go left to right. So green takes a hit damage to the arms that ignores armor. So she immediately takes light damage from the vomit. White takes damage to the body that ignores armor. So he takes that light damage. And then blue takes a leg damage. And hey, she doesn't have any armor anyways. All right, but we are like 2 wounds away from just killing this thing. So there we go. So that was what? That was Lexia's Bone Dart? I think that was all Lexia's Bone Dart. Is it like acid? It's literally stomach acid. And you gotta imagine the stomach acid coming out of this thing is probably pretty bad. Probably pretty bad. That was just the Bone Dart. Okay, so we still have Garrick, Xenchan, and EG to do their moves. But yeah, if you don't follow Semulin, go check out twitch.tv/Semulin. You'll find all kinds of magic there. He's currently attempting to be #1 mythic in Best of 1 Limited. Okay, so, and I do magic on other days, but today is my off day for board games. It's fun, and we end up with one heck of a story at the end. So Xenchan, she cannot get on in behind, but she can come into the side here. So she'll come into the side, and she'll hit with her Founding Stone. She's currently doing a speed of 3, which means we roll 3 dice here. And she's going to hit on a 7. Today's a better day than Magic Day. As long as Kaldheim's around, usually. She hits on a 7. Good job. She fails to hit at all. That's her turn. Garrick, can we get you not in the vomit zone here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, Garrick, just go straight into the vomit zone. Punch it in the face. So Garrick is our Fist and Tooth expert. Speed of 2 with his Fist and Tooth. So 2 dice. Hits on a 7, thanks to his Monster Claw style. Let's see if he hits on a 7 or not here. 1 hit. 1 hit. Garrick punches and bites the Mammoth Maw. So Garrick is going to wound on a 4 because he's got +1 strength, and he crits on a 9. He fails to wound. However, the vomit reaction is a wound reaction, so it doesn't vomit on us at least. Thanks for even playing this. I think Fate brought you here. Yeah, this'll eat your life. I'm so stoked for when I get the physical copy of this. Oh, I'm gonna paint it. I'm gonna build it, and just having the fiddly bits to actually play it is gonna be great. All right, so that's Garrick's turn, and then EG can't even get in there, but she can start to get in. So EG, come down here, and that's our turn. Oh yeah, it'll eat your wallet too, because there's at least a dozen expansions. Each one adds a new monster that you can hunt, or a new nemesis monster, or other sort of rules. It's a heck of a thing. All right, so the Gorm's turn. We reshuffle its gigantic deck of 1 card, and then we draw the card. I wonder what it's going to be. Hey, look, it's Scratch. Closest threat facing in range. Well, that would happen to be Garrick here. I would say he's the closest that's being faced. So he's going to scratch Garrick, a speed of 1, so 1 die. Hits on a 2, 3, 4, 5, thanks to the evasion. So he hits on a 5. And he misses. Cool. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Oh, you can drop way more than $1,000. The Blackest Bundle pre-order right now is 1,250. And I don't think that includes the base game. I think that's just the Wave 3 and Wave 4 expansions and the Gambler's Chest. And I considered it. All right, so it's our turn, and we're pretty close to killing this thing. Let's have Garrick get out of the vomit zone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on into the side. Garrick, bite this thing on the side. Speed of 2, hits on a 7. Good job, Garrick. Well done. Xenchan, get in behind and stab this thing. Speed of 3 hits on a 6 thanks to being behind it. One singular hit. From behind, she hits the bulging eye. Don't ask me how. She wounds on a 5, crits on a 10. Aww. She fails to wound. Failure reaction, turn the Gorm to face the opposite board edge and full move forward in a straight line. So we've been playing that it's opposite board edge from the attacker, so it's already facing that way, so it just goes vroom and runs up there. Luckily, not running anybody over. Just from hearing about this, you want the physical copy. The only expensive game you've bought is Aetherfields, and you're still waiting to get that. You're still waiting on Aetherfields? Hopefully not from Kickstarter, right? Or are you in a harder to get spot for it? Oh, your second wave? Right. Because they always do second wave stuff. I'm very intrigued by Aetherfields. I'm I guess it's not Kickstarter. I'm in the Game Found. Is that what they call it? For ISS Vanguard. But I did split wave because I really want to get it. Okay, Lexia. Throw your bone dart. Speed of 1 hits on a 7. Good job. Good job. E.g., you've got a spear, so you get to attack from the diagonal. Speed of 2 hits on a 6. That is a singular hit with the 10. She hits the Mammoth Crowded Fangs. If this attack was from the flank, it is not. We wound on a 4. We crit on a 10. We fail to wound. No reaction. Why are you all sucking? Xin-Chan, you actually did your attack already. I should have knocked you off here. Next turn. All right, we shuffle the deck. Surprise. The next card is Scratch. Closest threat facing in range. He's not facing anybody. Closest threat in field of view. Field of view would be Lexia or E.g., our choice. I've, again, forgotten to move the monster controller, I think, twice. So let's have it target 3 evasion, 1 evasion. We'll have it target red, so it'll move over 1. Speed of 1, accuracy of 2, 3, 4, 5. Accuracy of 5. It hits. Dealing 1 damage, as well as reducing all of your armor in your legs to 0. But she's got dash, so she'll dodge. She'll spend a survival to dodge. Because she's got a full rawhide armor set, we get to see if she keeps that survival point or not. And she does not. But hey, she dodges the damage, doesn't take it. Can we make sure the dice aren't weighted? You should have been here last week. Last week, we had a fight against, like, the weakest creature in the game that, I don't know, took an hour and a half because we just couldn't hit it. It didn't really hit us, but we couldn't hit it. E.g., get out of the vomit zone and stab it with your spear. Speed of 2, accuracy of 6. We get a hit with the 9. We hit the distended gut. We wound on a 4. We crit on a 10. Tabletop Simulator, why? We fail to wound, so the monster retches. So he moves back 1 space, 2 spaces, retches, but there is nobody in the vomit zone this time. So that's good. I'm a fan of no vomit zoning. Lexia, can you hit from here? She's got a range of 6 on her bone darts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She can hit. Speed of 1. We hit on a 7. That's a 6. No dice. Garrick, get in the grass. Xin-Chan, head up here. That's our turn. This thing should die so easily from here on out. Surprise, we draw Size Up. Size Up is closest threat facing in range. That would be AG. So we move and we attack. Speed of 1, accuracy of 5. It misses. Let's kill this thing. E.g., Go and stab it from the side. Speed of 2. Accuracy of 6. 2 hits. That means we're going to draw the trap card, aren't we? We hit it in the wrinkled elbow, and we hit it in the mammoth skull. Let's go with the elbow first. So we wound on a 4, we crit on a 10. Hey, we crit the elbow. So we get a wound, so we finally get rid of this scratch card. We do have to wound it one more time to kill it. It has no attacks left, so it's just going to do its basic attack, but we do have to wound it one more time. We critically wounded it, though. The Gorm's pathetic howl emboldens the survivors. The attacker gains a survival. Boop. And then we get to do the wound on the mammoth skull. We wound on a 4, we crit on a 10. We wound the mammoth skull. We kill the Gorm. It was an easy fight. That was an easy fight. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? So for killing the Gorm, we get 1 hunt XP. So 1 hunt XP, 1 hunt XP, 1 hunt XP, 1 hunt XP. We get weapon proficiency, but nobody's got weapon proficiency because these are all fresh-faced fighters, thanks to what happened last year. We get our rewards. The first time the Gorm is defeated, add Gormery and Gorm Chemist to the settlement locations. If they have not innovated it yet, the settlement gains Nigredo innovation. What was that? Do I have to grab this, or is this should be in here, right? Nigredo. Science. Survival limit +1. Cool. So we can spend an endeavor, roll a d10. On a 1 or a 2, we get an elixir of disintegration and archive a bone. On a 3 to a 10, we get an elixir of reshaping. We spend 3 bone to gain 1 dense bone resource. Okay, that's cool, I guess. And then we're going to have to add the consequence to the deck. And then we get what? The Gorm buildings? You actually really like the Gorm fight? It's much more fun than the White Lion? I think I'm just used to the Lion, right? So we get the Gorm Chemist and the Gormery. So the Gormery is where we can spend Gorm resources to build armor and weapons. And what's the Gorm Chemist? Spend 2 organs, roll a 1d10. Add 1d10 for each Gorkmi innovation in your settlement, like Nigredo, I assume, right? Yes. Archive. Add roll results to gain the corresponding gear or resources. So we can get a Gormite, Life Elixir, Power Potion, Steadfast. So we get potion. So we turn 2 organs into maybe a potion or a random Gorm resource. Look at the black sword. It's really weird and I love it. Archive 1 Gorkemist potion to reroll 1 die result. Gain the next Gorkami innovation. 1 strange resource and 1 Gorm brain. Interesting. So the black sword you said is interesting? Speed of 3, accuracy of 5, strength of 10. On a perfect hit, gain a survival. If you're a sword master, you understand this weapon's potential. It gains 20 strength. Wow. All right. Gormerific? Dang right. Wisdom potion's really good, but it's awkward to use on Tabletop Simulator. What's it do? I'm happy learning about new stuff. Wisdom potion. Play the showdown with the top card of the hit location deck revealed. Oh, yeah. So you have to continuously be flipping it. Interesting. That's going to be stuff I'm going to have to research. So we killed that, and now our resources are 4 basic rewards and 4 Gorm resources. So our basic rewards are a monster organ, a broken lantern, a monster bone, and this thing. You have no idea what it is. Could be used as bone, could be used as hide, could be used as organs. And then we get 4 Gorm resources. We get a dense bone. We get a stout kidney. We get a stout heart. And we get a second stout heart. It's big and gross. I guess that makes sense that it has multiple hearts. And that's us coming home. That's us coming home rather successfully. 10 strength means you automatically wound. No, strength is... You can always fail on a 1. Remember that first off. And secondly, remember that the toughness, which is what we're rolling against, could be like 18. So maybe you're against a monster where something like the Black Sword is the only way you're ever going to have enough strength to hit. But also keep in mind, if you did have a monster with a toughness of like 18, you also always automatically wound on a crit on a 10. Okay, so we got our resources. We are headed back to our settlement. So let's heal up all of our survivors here. So yeah, anybody who's stuck around, who's new here, this concludes sort of the Monster Hunter phase. Now we're going to the Spreadsheet phase, where we're going to see what happens this year, build some weapons, get ready for the next hunt. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody died as well. So everybody comes home, so we get 4 Endeavor tokens. Nobody died. So it's time to update the timeline. So we are on Lantern Year 4, which means we need to do our random event of the year. And our random event is nickname. Every returning survivor gets a nickname. Each rolls 1d10 on all 3 tables below. Add the nickname to the survivor's current name between their first and surname. A survivor may only be nicknamed once in a lifetime. Okay, so we can end up being like the brainless fool of the lion. All right, okay. So let's start out. So EG here. EG is the brainless sneak of the antelope. EG, brainless sneak of the antelope. Antelope. Yep. Antelope. And none of those did anything for us. So it basically looks like if you roll a 1, that nickname's going to hurt you. If you roll a 10, the nickname's going to help you. If you don't, it's just fun. So next up is Green. Who's Green? Green is Xenchan, right? So Xenchan is the foolish coward of the lantern. Xenchan, who probably won't be going out on future hunts, is the foolish coward of the lion. So that was -1 permanent accuracy and -1 permanent strength. I apologize, Xenchan, but you will not be going on future hunts. Maybe we'll feed you to the butcher. We'll see. Next up, we've got whoever blue is, Lexia. Lexia is the wise coward of the lantern. Oh, sorry, you were of the lantern, not of the lion. So Lexia, wise coward of the lantern. And that's a second one's strength. So -1 strength for Lexia. So that kind of sets her back on par with everybody. So she might still have a career as a hunter here. And then finally, we've got Garrick. Garrick, the dingle. Garrick Dinglesneak. Garrick Dinglesneak of the lion. Good old Garrick Dinglesneak. Garrick Dingle Sneaka the Lion. All right, so this is going to stick around so we can... No, we don't have Pictograph, so this probably won't do anything. But if we had Pictograph, we could spend an organ to give somebody a nickname. Or change your first name. I see. All right, so that is that. We're going to have to do the Gorm climate. We'll do the Gorm climate after this battle. I love this game. I just love everything that happens in this game. It's random and you end up with such a good story. And then your settlement fails, and then you start a new one. You got hero for your fist and tooth guy. How much longer is the stream? Not long. Not long. We will we'll get ready to depart for the butcher and then probably wrap it up. Because like I said, I've got virtual beer festival tonight and tomorrow night. So I do have a very hard cutoff. Name of it again? Kingdom Death Monster. And you're looking for the mod by Mr. Slack. Orcish with the most kills, most assists, 5 gold to everybody, 3 archers to unglued, and 15 gold to each tro. We won't have time. Let's see if we have time, because we might fit some marbles in. Last battle, maybe throw some epics at it. Because maybe we don't do the full time for this battle. Pop your units in. I'm going to pop in a Mana Leak Warrior. That's a big Mana Leak Warrior. Pop your units in. We'll get back to that in a bit. Kind of like short stories in game form. Yeah, except random instead of like choose your own adventure. Kind of. Going to leave us hanging for 2 weeks before the butcher. Maybe I'll do KDM next week. We'll see. And I'll do, so I did say I was taking next week off. I'm still going to do, if I'm invited, the Sweatsuit Invitational. Because that's fun. As much as Keldheim sucks, it's still very fun to do an in-pod draft tournament. It's just, I missed that so much. Okay, so we have returned. We have to do the Gorm climate. Gorm climate. Returning survivors, find the settlement tormented by relentless foul weather. Add Gorm climate to next year. So you're telling me at some point I get rid of Gorm climate, right? Roll a 1d10. We rolled a 3. Jagged pellets of sizzling hail rain from the sky, corroding anything they touch where they land. All resources in the settlement storage are lost. You can avoid this by getting rid of an innovation. We don't have much except the sinew, which I still really want. But we can get rid of Broken Lantern. Yeah. No, sorry, we don't get rid of Broken Lantern. We get rid of an innovation to do that. We have to make the Gorms go extinct. You can remove Negredo since you get it the next time you fight the Gorm. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, so we'll return Negredo to the deck to make a protective barrier so that we don't lose these resources here. Because I fought tooth and nail to get this sinew, and I need it. Oh, you were joking. Oh, okay. So I don't get to make them go extinct. You never know what happens in this game, right? So the timeline's been updated. We've updated the death count. Check milestones. We have not hit 15 people. We have not had 5 innovations yet. We're close to 15 people. We could get a society this turn. So we get to bring back our goods, our loot. We've got our stout heart, our dense bone, our stout kidney, whatever that is. A second useless broken lantern. Monster organ. Man, we are organ rich. Organ rich and hide poor. Let's pretend that's a hide. Organ rich, hide poor. Okay, so what can we do? What does the kidney do? If you consume it, you can roll a d10 with a chance of getting 10 survival or losing all of your survival. So. Yeah, we should probably innovate, which will be this and a bone and a heart. So let's innovate. Let's see what technology our civilization gets. Need to be tidy. So we spend an endeavor to innovate, shuffle up. We can innovate face painting or Negredo. These are terrible. So what's face painting? Oh, face painting is actually what we need, isn't it, for intimacy? Because we can spend an endeavor, roll a 1d10 with a 60% chance of adding 1 to all intimacy rolls. So this is one of the ways that you make survival of the fittest be a little bit better. So yeah, we'll take face painting. That stacks, by the way. Oh, like, yeah, like I can do it multiple times to add like +2 or +3 or +4. Are there face painting consequences? It doesn't look like it. No. So we don't put anything else in our deck. Also, because we lost Nigredo there, we need to pop our survival limit down to 3. So we innovated face painting. Let's build stuff. We will finally build our bow using sinew and bone. Sinew and bone. So we finally get a catgut bow. And our darts person will now become our bow person. And then we are just organ flushed. What do we do with this many organs? What does the Gormery give us for organs? Yeah, the arrow would have been really nice. Can spend the organs on the building for another innovation. We have to spend a strange resource and a Gorm brain for special innovate. And we don't have either of those. Do we use dense bone for something? I would assume it's on here. Dense bone makes a gax, which I assume is like a great axe. Oh, there's a greater gax. Never mind. What else can we spend? Stout heart and 3 bone to make a Gorn. These are oddly named items. We didn't get any hide or stomach lining to make any of the Gorm outfit. We could try Gorm Chemist. So we'd kill off 2 organs. We'd roll a 1d10. We have no innovations anymore for Gorm Chemie. Oh, it's like alchemy. I get it. And then we would get possibly a random Gorm resource with a slight chance of a healing potion. Oh, Gormax, that makes sense. I got really unlucky with the Gorm rewards. Yeah, that's welcome to the channel. You can only ever have one piece of each gear, so we can't load people up with monster grease. What's a healing potion do? At the end of the showdown, if you suffered any permanent injuries, you can get rid of permanent injuries. That's kind of cool. We've got a lion's tail. Man, there's not much here, eh? I guess, let's try Gorm Comancy just to see what it does. Let's use these non-named organs. Yeah, the potion could make you not blind, but you would have to survive the fight well blind. Stone Circle location. Oh, I could make Stone Circle. And what does Stone Circle do for me? Why is this all like antelope stuff? This makes screaming antelope gear. You can only innovate once a year, unfortunately. I don't know that we need that yet. Oh, the antelope doesn't give you a location. That's why. That makes sense. Yeah, so I want to do Gorm Comancy here. So we get a 5. So we get a random Gorm resource. So let's go to the Gorm deck. I guess theoretically this should probably be a reshuffled Gorm deck, shouldn't it? We get a stout hide. Okay, we turn 2 organs into a hide. So we could make Gormant sleeves. Or Gormant boots. Are either of those cool? Gormant sleeves. You may guard without spending survival. Gormant boots. Other survivors may move through but not end movement in the space you occupy. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You want a pair of screaming leg warmers? Fair. Let's maybe. What does the Gorm bonus do for us for getting a full set of Gorm armor? Add 1 to all hit locations when you suffer one or more. When you suffer more than 1 severe injury from an attack, ignore the second severe injury. That's kind of cool. And then what's the blue? Is this like a special? What's that blue symbol? That must be a... Oh, that's the regeneration suit. What is Gormant suit? Why is... Oh, I get it, I think. So the Gorm armor is only 4 pieces, but one of them covers both body and waist. But then to get the secondary, you need to get the regeneration suit as well. The Gorm body and sleeves together are great, but only once you have a shield. Yeah, I really would like to get a shield. But the shield requires the knuckle, right? Or requires the hand and 2 bones. All right. Well, let's attempt to make a baby. I think that's what we'll do. We'll do augury to finish off. Because if we get a baby, then we get a society. That's how that works. So we'll spend an endeavor. What do we get? We get understanding, right? Who could potentially use some understanding? E.g. could. Face paint first? Oh, right. Face paint first. But that also costs a thingy, doesn't it? Yeah, so let's face paint first. So that endeavor that I spent will actually be face painting. Gain +1 to all rolls on intimacy. So now we will do augury. E.g. will do augury. We roll an 8, we get to do intimacy. Intimacy will be between this unnamed female survivor and this unnamed male survivor. So these two are going to go make a baby. They are not Will and Rowan. So we add +1 to these rolls. We take the lowest one. Jesus. So currently they're both dying because of the 1. Yeah, we can re-roll them both. That costs 2 re-rolls. We have the +1. So it's currently 2 and a 4. Currently 2 and a 4. So they're not both dying. Currently just the female is dying and the child. So we'll re-roll this 2. We'll spend unnamed males. Oh, unnamed males re-roll has already been used. Zine-chan, we said you were never going back out again. We're going to use your re-roll. So we re-roll this. It's a 6. So we got a 4. So a new survivor is brought, kicking and screaming into the world. The child's eyes are free of the ink that stained the founders' faces. The settlement gains a population. We got a new survivor. There really needs to be like a move to bottom. So we got a new survivor. We will have that survivor be male, I think, because we've had... Yeah, I think male will balance it out. So male, +1 strength, +1 evasion, and +1 understanding. That puts us up to 15. Yeah, Xenoshan's a midwife. Xenoshan helped them have their baby instead of the mother dying, I suppose. Yeah, so that's 15 survivors. So we have Principal Society. There once was a mad woman who spent her days talking to the darkness. One day it spoke. So we could accept darkness or we could have collective toil. And my understanding is that accept darkness is pretty decent. If we go and take a look at the two society choices. So collective toil is your settlement leads the storm. If everyone holds strong, you'll triumph. At the start of every settlement phase, you get an extra endeavor for every 10 population. Accept darkness, add +2 to all brain trauma rolls, which means nobody dies from brain trauma anymore. So we're going to go with accept darkness. We accept the darkness. And I'm going to copy this card and put it on the brain roll table so that I always remember it. And then we've got our event for accepting darkness here. The darkness spoke startling truths. It told the people they were monsters just like the ones they hunted. The people accepted their monstrosity and their place stalking in the darkness. The settlement gains the society principle. Find it, roll a 1d10. 10. Nominate a female survivor if you can't nominate a male instead. The survivor is heralded as the settlement's leader. Gain the quixotic disorder. It cannot be removed for any reason. In addition, gain the leader and orator of death fighting art. Who's our best female right now? Not Xenoshan. Not much going on with EG. Not much going on with Lexia. These are all males except for Ursula, but Ursula's blind. And nobody else is terribly standoutish, eh? Do I have any from the previous party? No, it was a fully male party that we sent out. So I guess we'll give it to EG. EG did really good. EG is now the leader. So EG is the leader and an orator of death. And she's also quixotic. Let's pull these cards over. All right, so Orator of Death, we've seen this before. That means that she can spend an action to give all non-deaf survivors +2 insanity. She's the leader, which means when she encourages, that person gets a +1 speed until the end of the round. As well as once per hunt phase, you can inspire another survivor. They use your understanding and courage to resolve a hunt or story event. And she's quixotic, which is actually mostly pretty good. If you're insane when you depart, you get a survival and a strength, which is huge. You have to keep the person insane, but that's huge. Super huge. Okay, so that was us accepting darkness as a society. And we have one endeavor left to do. Guess we might just do augury again? What's the other face paint thing? Departing survivors get +2 survival and +1 insanity. I guess that's not awful, right? Yeah, let's do that. So we'll roll on battle paint here. Laughing stock, nothing happens. All right, so that means that's the end of our year, and we're going to go face the butcher this time. Can we make a new thing that lets us make new things? No. Technically we could. We can make the stone circle, but it doesn't do anything very good. We can't make that. We don't have 3 bones and we don't have 3 hides for the skinner, for the leather worker. Although we do want to get a leather worker at some point. Yeah, so we're going to head out to the butcher. And I might actually send our A-team. I might send our A-team. Although she won't be insane, so she won't get the bonus here. What's the Butcher? The Butcher is the first nemesis. This is something that's attacking us in our settlement. It is incredibly dangerous. It eats survivors for breakfast, essentially. It's also kind of a gear check. It's a, hey, have you actually progressed the way that you should have so far? If not, it's going to kill you real fast. If you have, you might beat it. But yeah, the bow should really help us. The spear should help us because we're not going to be getting backhanded by it. I think we might just send this team. Because who do we have packed up? We have Kvoth, Godofredo, and Jonathan. What do they have? Jonathan's the orator and prepared. That doesn't matter. He's got some insanity. He's got a +1 accuracy. Oh, and he's the spearman. He's the spearman. He's the spearman. We've got Randall, who's a berserker, and he's the fist and toothman. But Garrick is our new fist and toothman here. So Randall won't be going out this time. We're going to pack up Xenchan. Xenchan, the foolish coward of the lantern. And I think what we'll maybe do is have EG become the founding stone weapon to be determined person. And I think we'll have Jonathan step back in as the spearman. I think I like that. Also, EG can no longer be the spear person, so we need a different model. EG. And then we'll bring back Jonathan the spearman. Oops. So there's Jonathan the spearman. Now, what happens if you kill the butcher? You get maybe a reward. The reward can actually be really good. You can actually get its cleaver, which is a really good weapon. All right, we're going to depart for the butcher. Let's do it. So, how's our survival limit looking? 3. So he's on max survival. He's going to get the evasion for the monster grease and the evasion for the completed vest. And we'll remember his monster claw fighting style. That's all he gets. Bow person gets nothing. We should get her some armor at some point. I wonder what armor goes good on a bow person. EG gets monster grease evasion and rawhide vest evasion. She is not insane, so she does not get survival and strength, and she's at max survival. Jonathan here gets +2 survival from the rawhide gloves and the boots. Gets an evasion from the grease and an evasion from the rawhide. And that is us having departed for a level 1 butcher. The cleaver's okay. It's got really good strength, doesn't it? It's good if you can get 2. That makes sense, I suppose. So this is the butcher here. The butcher's not a nice man. The butcher steals your face. He really likes faces. The butcher also attacks twice every turn. Every turn he attacks twice. Also, he drives us mad with infectious lunacy. But that's going to be for next week. See ya, YouTube.